departure, good day. Departure, 3190 ticket.
And we are live right now. Great. I just wait for a few minutes until people get in.
I call 3 o'clock. It's like dead hour here at Seattle.
Oh, really?
You think so? Maybe like sprint time.
660, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Okay, takeoff, 34 right. 3897, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wave, report to 737, departing ahead and sight, you're northwestbound. Full right, line up and wave, yep, 737, access.
Obviously, okay. It's over there.
Monster 2, contact departure, good day. Today, last 2. Delta 629, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 Central, short runway 34 right.
34 Center, Juliet, and 693 right, up that 6 right.
Skyway 3138, Seattle Tower, November, cross runway 34 Central, short runway 34 right.
Cross 34 Center, November, hold short 34 right, Skyway 3138.
Skyway 3897, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Right. Separation, go. Lufthansa 491 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait. Lufthansa 491 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait. Lufthansa 491 Heavy, 34 right, line up and wait. 660, contact departure, good day. Good day, Alaska 660. Skyway 3897, contact departure, good day. Good day, Skyway 3897. Lufthansa 491 Heavy, runway 34 right, cleared for takeoff. Lufthansa 491 Heavy, 34 right, cleared for takeoff. Southwest 1049, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic will cross. Line up and wait, 34 right, Southwest 1049.
I forgot to turn my tablet.
Position off across runway 34 right, taxi spot 88 via Bravo and contact the south ramp. Right, clear cross 34 right, spot 88 and ramp, southwest 404. Okay, 739, right, touch ground, 3138, cross runway 34 right, Southwest 7.
Cross 34 right, and over to ground Skyway 34 or 3138.
Cross 3360, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7.
Cross 34 right, ground point 7, Skyway 3360.
629, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7. Lufthansa 491 Heavy, contact departure, good day.
Lufthansa 491 Heavy, contact departure, good day.
3 on Charlie, cross runway 34 right. Cross runway 34 center. Sure, roger. Southwest 1049, wind 330 at runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Takeoff 34 right, Southwest 1049.
Southwest 4153, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report to 737, departing ahead in sight, they're eastbound.
Line up and wait, 4 right, traffic inside, Tower 41.
Southwest 4153, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 34 right, maintain visual separation to the 738,
Southwest 4127, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line up and wait, 41.
Southwest 1049, remain this frequency for traffic descending into Boeing Field.
Southwest 49.
Southwest 1049, contact departure today.
1049, yeah.
Did you see that? That was a little wake turbulence. That was a little wake turbulence. It was rocking back and forth.
Southwest 4127, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, come takeoff, Scott 41.
2318, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right.
Southwest 4153, contact departure, good day. Yes, 4153, good day. Fox 1476, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Little ones are loud.
Southwest 4127, contact departure, good day.
Departure, everything, Scott 4120.
Delta 2318, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 23.
Southwest 1876, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line up and wait, Southwest 1876.
Southwest 415, Fatal Tower Cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
34 center, hold short 34 right, Alaska, final 450.
So 2318, contact departure, good day.
Departure, Delta 23.
That A220, you got it. It was a good shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was. It looks great. On the
Southwest
video.
1876, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Alaska 1551, Fatal Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic will cross.
34 right, line up wait, Alaska 1551.
So quiet.
Huh?
It's like so quiet.
Like you're at the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1476, traffic in position, hotel cross, runway 34 right, 12.7.
Cross 24 right, ground Alaska 415.
415 on Echo Cross, runway 34 right, 12.7, traffic in position. With 1876, remain this frequency for traffic descending into Boeing Field.
425.
3 cross, runway 34 center,
Qatar
hold short, runway 34 right.
A350-1000 is taking off.
That's good.
Yeah. So those do not come to Seattle a lot.
Oh, yeah.
With 1876, contact departure, good day. 1551, wind 330 runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
4 right, clear for takeoff, Alaska 1551.
Sure.
Actually, we got 2 heavies on arrival.
So 1551, remain this frequency for traffic descending into Boeing Field.
Roger.
3 from Charlie, proceed on runway 34 right.
We got 2 heavies coming in.
I saw. Have you noticed that they always hold the Vancouver flights short of the runway? Have you noticed that?
It's
1551,
because
contact departure,
there's
good
less
day.
people.
1551, good day.
I think so.
Yeah, it's not that many people.
Usually people get it with every
Here they come.
Vancouver flight. Sometimes they sit there for 20 minutes.
Just they have to wait for
Here, please.
clearance. Because it's international, you know?
Because it's such a short flight.
Yeah.
That means they probably have heavy traffic up there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
And there goes a fire truck.
Sure, roger.
You know, once they have that, you know, the, what's it called? You know, once they have the
Alpha 246, Devil Turn, Echo Cross, runway 34 center, and cross, runway 34 right, contact ground point 7 on the other side.
They do the emergency training. We could just see out here on the runway. Like, tons of fire trucks going back and forth.
Whereabouts do they take you when they take you out, escorted?
I don't know, they take you out to the field. You see where that van is over there?
Yeah.
They take you right there.
And can you do it anytime, or is it just a certain time of year?
It's just every year they do it. Like sometime in August.
Yeah, that's a bucket list thing of mine.
Oh.
Really, I've never done anything like that.
Op 3, plan to exit at Papa so I can hit Jazz's slow time.
Exit Papa, break.
Jazz 807, Seattle Tower, vehicle on the runway, runway 34 right, line up and wave.
You see what I mean by dead hour?
Oh yeah, 3 heavies actually.
Yep.
Congo.
Then we got the HG on the
That means
7.
some of them is gonna be landing on this runway right here.
Yeah.
Because they can't land.
Oh look, he's on the runway doing the runway check.
Let's do it.
That's a good shot.
Where are you?
Look, he's doing the runway check as the Air Canada is lining up.
Seattle Tower, 3 is on runway 34 right, moving short, Texas.
Roger. Jazz 807, what did you get for a departure frequency?
We have 419 decimal 2.
Right, and your initial altitude?
6,000.
Jazz 807, on departure maintain 9,000, wind 3507, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 34 right, copy. 9,000, Jazz 807.
Do you remember flying on those when Alaska had them?
Mm-hmm.
3 from Papa, proceed on runway 34 right.
Proceed on to runway 34 right, that's 3. And tower up 3, should I plan on a 180 at the end?
3, do you need to do another pass or are you just going to exit?
I need to do runway 16 center still, so I wanted to come back up to Quebec.
Okay, yep, that's fine. You can come back to Quebec for Op 3.
Okay, 180 at the end and back up to Quebec up 3.
It's 807, contact departure, good day.
Departure, Jazz 807.
I have a 3770 Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, vehicle on the runway.
Right on my head.
The 1338 Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Landing.
Cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right, last to 1338.
Star 3770, traffic will cross downfield.
Roger.
The 1338 now is across runway 34 right, and taxi spot 88 via Bravo, you'll give way to Embraer traffic from the north.
Okay, clear cross 34 center and 34 right,
You play
and
Infinite Flight?
88 via Bravo.
Yeah, I do actually.
Really? I've played it for years.
What level are you on?
Runway 34 right.
I'm working on my... I'm on 3.
On 3, roger, proceed on runway 34 center.
Proceed on to runway 34 center, up 3.
1564 Seattle Tower, November cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
November cross 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right, Southwest
3770, wind 350 at Niner, runway 34 right, cleared for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Sky 3770.
2129, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line up and wait, rise 2129.
Delta 9970, you'll be next.
Delta 9970.
Oscar 1305, Seattle Tower, Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Tower 3770, contact departure today.
Departure today, Sky 3770.
Vision 2129, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, horizon 2129.
The 9970, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
Runway 34 right, Delta 9970.
Roger. Seattle Tower, traffic in position, wind 340 runway 34 right, clear to land. Vision 2129, contact departure, good day.
What's the departure horizon 2129?
The 9970, wind 340 at 8, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
So takeoff, runway 34 right, Delta 9970.
Ooh, this one looks like it's chartered. 9970.
Cross runway 34 right, clear to gate, contact south ramp.
Cross 34 right, straight to the gate, over to ramp, Delta 1564.
Oscar 1305, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7.
Cross runway 34 right, ground point 7, that's 05.
The 9970, contact departure, good day.
Go to Park Hill, 9970.
Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Convoy 3440, the guy in the left lane, there's wait for a flow time, and then make your way back to the right lane when you're able to.
Is that down?
They're going to this one.
The 331, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic will cross. Boston 1468, Seattle Tower on Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Echo cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, last support.
Boston 579, Lima, Bravo, 55, ramp.
Lima, Bravo, 55 ramp, last 570.
580, cross runway 34 right, traffic condition, ground point 7.
34 right, ground point 7, last 290.
1458, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7.
34 right, ground point 7, last 1458.
Over 032 heavy, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Oscar 331, wind 3507, runway 34 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 34 right, 331.
Convoy 3440, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line up way, Convoy 34.
Convoy 3440, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Convoy 3440.
032 heavy, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
34 center, hold short, 34 right, runway 32 heavy. Tower, going 3733.
3733 Tower.
Quick question, is that kind of a weird noise coming from the airplane?
Sounds like people watching it.
Australia 733, unfortunately, you're pretty far away, even with binoculars, I can't really see much around your airplane. We can get Holmes to come out and take a look. Starworker 032 heavy on Holmes cross runway 34 right, taxi spot 88 via Bravo, contact the south ramp. The 331, contact departure, good day.
331 today. Tower Scout 3958 on the visual 34 right.
Right, you got a 272 heavy, Seattle Tower, Echo, cross runway 34 center and cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7 on the other side.
Clear cross 34 center and 34 right, contact ground 117, I shall not attempt to.
Condor 032 heavy, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7.
Cross 34 right, ground point 7, Condor 032 heavy.
Convoy 3440, contact departure, good day.
Good departure, everyone.
Go 3958, Seattle Tower, wind 360 at 8, runway 34 right, clear to land. 34 right, clear to land, Scouts 3958. Alright, 3733, we've got ops on the way, it might be a couple minutes.
Seattle Tower, up 3, taxiway, correct, lift across runway 34 center and runway 34 right to proceed down to the aircraft.
Up 3, Seattle Tower, traffic on a 4-mile final expedite and cross runway 34 center and cross runway 34 right.
Cross runway 34 right, on 3. Seattle Tower, up 3, off runway 34 center and 34 right, and switch to 100 ground.
3 Roger, yeah, the aircraft said they heard a weird noise. They wanted to see if there was something underneath the aircraft or potentially maybe a hatch open or something. If you see anything weird.
Roger.
Wait, what?
Did you hear that?
I don't know. What did they say?
They said
And I guess
that
we'll stay with you because he's probably beyond you, right?
No, that's correct, Op 3, that's a good idea.
they wanted to check if they heard a weird noise
62,
underneath
Seattle
the
Tower, cross runway
aircraft, so they
34
want
center,
to
hold
check
short,
and
runway
see
34 right.
if it's serious.
Cross
Maybe
34
it's a
center, hold short, 34 right.
Dog or a cat? Who knows? Then they gotta bring the...
Hey, Tower Scouts 3958, just confirm that ops. Vehicle's clear, runway 34 right. 3958, affirmative, they're down in the south apron now. You're cleared to land, runway 34 right, Scouts 3958. Clear land 34 right, thank you, Scouts 3958.
Well, they got last second clearance to land 3958 from Boise. Imagine they didn't get clearance, they had to do a go around.
Within 2275, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, 2275.
It's an old one.
Any system passing or anything like that, did you want me to escort a maintenance crew out here to take a listen, or?
Let's see how the aircraft wants to proceed. Skyward 3733, did you copy all that?
Yeah, we did. We can hear like a tapping down underneath the door, so we're going to coordinate the operation and go back.
Skyward 3958, your gate's occupied, make a left turn on Kilo. Left turn, Kilo, Skyward 3958. 2275, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7. Clear cross 34 right, ground point 7, right, 2275. Cross to 762, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7.
Cross 34 right, ground point 7.
3958, hold short of runway 34 center. Hold short 34 center, Scouts 3958. 2152, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center and cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7 on the other side.
Cross 34 center, 34 right, contact ground on the other side, right.
The 344, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic crossing. 34 right, line up and wait, traffic. 3733, understand you're going to want to go back to the gate. Just let me know when you've got a gate figured out and we'll get you moving in that direction. For Op 3, thanks for your help. I don't think we need you anymore down there. Yeah, that's interesting. Very appreciate it. 2730, Seattle Tower, wind 3307, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. 2830. Tower 3733, are you able to move? 3733, after this next departure, we're going to take you down the runway and put you into box 90 with Elaine. I'll get back to you in just a moment. The 2922, Seattle Tower, November cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At November cross, 34 center, hold short, 34 right,
That is 2154, Seattle Tower, just stay there on Echo, cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
On Echo, cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right, United 2164.
For 344, contact departure, good day.
44, good day.
Tower 3733, enter runway 34 right, taxi to Quebec.
34 right, taxi to Quebec, Tower 3733.
Really small.
The 2922, there'll be traffic taxi down the center runway at November cross runway 34 right also. You're behind the line shift and ground and ground from on the other side.
At November cross 34 right, and we'll contact ground on the other side of 2922.
Tower Skyline 3733, looks like options to give us 8 Alpha 7.
That is 2154, traffic taxiing on the center or on the right runway, cross runway 34 right and contact ground point 7.
Thanks, cross 34 right, ground point 7, United 2164.
Delta 2830, contact departure, good day.
That's a good day, Delta 2830.
With 3733 via Quebec to spot 88, contact the south ramp when you're off.
Quebec to 88, contact South Ramp and Rouse, Tower 3733.
American 2524, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic crossing.
Line up only 34 right, American 2524.
2119, Seattle Tower, good speed, cross runway 34 center and cross runway 34 right. There's traffic taxiing on the right runway. Contact ground point 7 on the other side. You go behind United.
Alright, cross 34 center, cross 34 right, and
Tower to 2922, verified for cross 34 right.
2922, that's correct. There's traffic taxiing on this right runway. You can cross runway 34 right, contact ground.
Thanks for the clarification. Cross 34 right, we'll call ground, Delta 2922.
Oh, it's going back to the gate. It's going back to the gate? That Delta plane's going back to the gate. Right there is the one that's taxiing right now, Delta. The Skyways.
Oh, is it? Oh, is that the runway?
Yeah, it was on the runway, but now it's taxiing back to the gate. No.
American 2524, wind 3408, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Plane right there.
pick up 34 right, American 2524.
Starts 5434, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report the Airbus departing ahead from sight, they're eastbound.
34 right, line up and wait, we'll report Airbus inside, Sky 434. Traffic inside, Sky 434.
Strange.
Captain 5434, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
4 right, maintain visual separation, Sky 434.
Up to 700, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report the Embraer departing ahead in sight, they're westbound.
34 right, line up away, we got the Embraer inside, let's get 700.
American 2524, contact departure, good day.
2524, switching.
United 757, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report the 737 departing ahead in sight, they're southeastbound.
We have the 737 inside, runway 34 right, line up on 897 on 57.
Road 5434, contact departure today. Contact departure, Scott, 5434. United 1660, Seattle Tower, November cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
November cross, 34 center, hold short, 34 right.
United 757, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right.
Visual right, line up and
489, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line up and wait, Delta 489.
Good 700, contact departure, good day.
Switching on to 700, good day.
United 2241, Seattle Tower on Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Juliet, cross 34 center, hold short.
Delta 489, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Good takeoff, 34 right, Delta 489.
Delta 67, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report to 737, departing ahead in sight, they're eastbound.
Line of flight, runway 34 right, the traffic inside of left.
United 757, contact departure, good day.
Nice, so good, so.
Maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Separation for takeoff, runway 34 right.
Delta 2338, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line of way, right, flight 330.
Engine 2338, report to 737, departing ahead in sight, sir, northwestbound.
Inside, right, flight 338.
489, contact departure, good day.
Over departure to 489, see you.
Vic 3143, heavy, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right. Okay, no, I got 144 heavy.
Engine 2338, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, visual separation at 2230.
It's over here.
Hey, Tower Coast, 3958, Bravo 4 is called the push, so we're ready to go. 3958, 148 ramp, stand by mullet. United 1660 on November cross, runway 34 right, contact ground point 7.
November cross 34 right, ground point 7.
United 2241, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7.
34 right, ground point 7.
Vic 3143, heavy, cross runway 34 right, left turn to cargo 2 and contact the north ramp.
Cross 34 right, left along, echo, over the ramp, over the
67, contact departure, good day. 2338, contact departure, good day.
Departure, good day, Red, 2338.
Tower 3958, turn left on runway 34 center, left turn at Mike, hold short runway 34 right.
Left turn 34 center, left turn Mike, hold short 34 right, Scout 3958.
North 181 Hotel, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, land away, Scout 181 Hotel.
Tower 181 Hotel, wing 3407, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Scout 181 Hotel.
Present 2061, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait. Horizon 2061, report the Embraer departing ahead to sight, they're westbound. Present 2061, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Press 3118, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wave, report the Embraer departing head to sight for southeast bound.
Line up and wave, 34 right, we see that, Sky left 3118.
West 181 Hotel, contact departure, good day.
Departure, Scout 181 Hotel.
Southwest 389, Seattle Tower for the occupied gate, back taxi on runway 34 center to Mike, hold short runway 34 right.
Right on, Mike, hold short. Back taxi.
Tower 3118, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Sky left, 1.
Present 2007, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wave, report the Embraer departing ahead to sight, they're westbound.
Traffic in sight, line up and wait, 34 right, Horizon 2007.
Present 2061, contact departure, good day.
Okay, right.
Up to 286, Seattle Tower, Julie across runway 34 center, hold short runway 34 right.
Cross 34 center, hold short 34 right on that.
Present 2007, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Continue visual separation, clear for takeoff, 34 right, right, 2007.
Present 2353, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic will cross.
We're just going to need about 1 minute before we're ready for takeoff, right, 2353.
Present 2353, hold short runway 34 right.
Hold short 34 right, right, 2353.
Shall aircraft get information out and out current altimeter 2999er, wind 340 at 5. Oscar 384, Seattle Tower, cross runway 34 center, hold short runway 34 right. Tower 3958, cross runway 34 right at Mike, contact ground point 7.
Cross 34 right at my contact ground point sub, Scout 3958.
Oscar 286, cross runway 34 right, ground point 7.
Cross 34 right, point 7, left to 286.
Tower 3118, contact departure, good day.
Departure, US Falls, Sky West 31.
Horizon 2007, contact departure, good day.
Departure, good day, Horizon 2007.
Oscar 384, now also cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7 the other side.
Cross 34 right and ground round. And Tower at 2353, we're all set.
2353, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic crossing.
Line up and wait, 34 right, 2353.
2353, wind 3406, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 34 right, is 2353.
2307, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report the Embraer, departing ahead of flight for eastbound.
Line up and wait, 34 right, is 2307, Embraer, flight.
Present 2307, maintain visual separation, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, maintain visual separation, 2307.
And 2353, contact departure, good day.
Departure now is 2353, you have a good day.
The 773, Seattle, are you ready to go?
Hey, we need about 2 more minutes for Alaska 773. Step aside.
Now you can take the left lane, Alaska 773.
Okay, we'll take the left lane, Alaska 773, thank you.
2307, contact departure, good day.
Departure good day, rise 2307.
2533, Seattle Tower, cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. That was 3126, you ready to go?
Ready to go, okay.
3126, Seattle Tower, wind 3206, runway 34 right, cleared for takeoff.
34 right,
Tower, Southwest 389.
Those are my demos.
Well taken.
Yes, sir, Southwest 389, just let you know we got a gate change, 1 Bravo 10. I think that's all for us.
Bravo 10.
Stay firm. Alaska 773, we are fully ready for right.
Cars on the other line with the Alaska 773, you ready?
Perfect.
The 773, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
Runway 34 right, Alaska 773.
1412, Seattle Tower, cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Or not short, I said Delta 1412 on Juliet, cross, runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
34 center, hold short, 34 right on Juliet, Delta 1412.
For Southwest 389, your gate Bravo 10 is open now.
Alright, that's 3. We're ready to go.
Tower 3126, contact departure, good day.
Departure scale 3126, yep.
The 2768, Seattle Tower, traffic in position, wind 3606, runway 34 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 34 right,
The 773, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Takeoff 34 right, left, 773.
3533, the traffic on Bravo's going to wait for you. Traffic approach the 3 mile final exit, cross runway 34 right, runway 7.
Flight crossing 34 right, here.
Southwest 389, expedite cross runway 34 right, runway 7.
Expedite cross over grass, Southwest 389.
Delta 1412, traffic 3 mile final expedite cross runway 34 right, runway 7. 773, contact departure, good day. Good day. Scheduled tower, runway 34 right, line been wait. 34 right, line been wait. Delta 2768, turn right at Kilo and contact ground point 7. Right turn Kilo point 7, 2768. Travis 3857, 13507, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. 34 right, clear for takeoff, Skywest 3857. Skywest 3305, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away. 34 right, line up away, Skywest 3305. Skywest 3305, 13606, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. 34 right, clear for takeoff, Skywest 3305. Alaska 1366, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait. 34 right, Alaska 1366. Skywest 3857, traffic at 1 o'clock at 2 miles, just setting up 900 with Cirrus going into Boeing Field. We're looking Skywest 3857. Skywest 3857, no taxi now, contact departure, we'll see you. Roger, after departure, have a good one, Skywest 3857. Tower, Delta 2905, Holmes, 3407. Delta 2905, Seattle Tower, Roger, I'll get back to you in just a second. Alaska 1366, 13506, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Let's take off 34 right, Alaska 1366.
Go 3305, contact departure.
Sky 3305.
Delta 248 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, line up and wait, Delta 248 Heavy.
Delta 145 Heavy, Seattle Tower, Charlie, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Charlie, cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right, Delta 145 Heavy.
Alaska 585, Seattle Tower at Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At Echo, 34 center, hold short of 34 right, Alaska 585.
Delta 2905 at November, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At November, cross runway 34 center and short 34 right, Delta 2905.
Delta 248 Heavy, 13508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 248 Heavy.
Okay, with 3433, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait. Caution, wake turbulence for the departing heavy Airbus, traffic will cross.
34 right, line up and wait. Skyway 34 and 33.
Delta 1358, Seattle Tower at Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At Juliet, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Delta 13.
Alaska 1366, contact departure. Delta 1358 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
At Hotel, cross 34 right, ground, Delta 13.
Alaska 585 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
At Echo, we'll cross 34 right, ground point 7, Alaska 585.
Present 2015, Seattle Tower at Juliet, cross runway 34 center, at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 center, 34 right, right on 2015.
Delta 145 Heavy at Charlie, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right over Delta 145.
Delta 2905, you're going to hold there just for a little bit longer, your gate's not quite ready.
Delta 2905, copy. Yeah, they told us Alpha 14 is open.
Delta 248 Heavy, contact departure. Delta 2905, Roger, let me check for you real quick. Skyway 3433, 13508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Skyway 34 and 33.
Front through flight 3406, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
Runway 34 right, line up and wait. Flight 3406.
President 2097, Seattle Tower, good afternoon, 13508, runway 34 right, clear to land, traffic in position.
34 right, clear to land.
Your flight 3406, 13408, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 34 right, Frontier, 30 miles.
Delta 2606, Delta Tower, Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Mike, hold short, runway 34 right.
From Juliet, back taxi, 34 center on Mike.
Over to departure, Tower 3433. 521, Seattle Tower, Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Okay, Juliet, 34 center, hold short, 34 right, Alaska, 521.
Frontier flight 3406, contact departure.
Frontier 3406.
Alaska 418, Seattle Tower, Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Echo, cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right, Alaska, 14.
57, Seattle Tower at Quebec, cross runway 34 right, runway 34 center, line up and wait.
Cross 34 right, 34 center, line up and wait, American Southwest.
Present 2097, turn right at Mike, contact ground point 7, Alaska waits for you.
Right at Mike, contact ground point 7, right at 97.
Alaska 521 at Juliet, correction, hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7.
They're ground 34 right on hotel at ground lot 521.
Alaska 418 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7.
Echo, cross 34 right, ground point 7, Alaska 418.
American 757, wind 3608, runway 34 center, clear for takeoff.
Take up 34 center, American 757.
Alaska 238, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic is crossing, traffic departs center. Delta 2905, just verified with the ramp, your gate is still occupied right now, so it'll be a little bit longer.
Thanks, Delta 2905, hold short.
Bye. Alaska 238, wind 3508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Company 4 right, Alaska 30.
Skyline 3498, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, report the preceding Boeing 737 inside, they'll depart to the southwest.
34 right, line up and wait. Traffic check, 649.
Air 033 Heavy, Seattle Tower at Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. American 757, contact departure.
Departure American 757.
Separation, 13408, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, here, 3498.
Alaska 686, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up to wait, report the preceding Embraer jet in sight, level departure to the east.
Runway 34 right, Alaska 686, traffic sight.
Alaska 238, contact departure.
Or departure Alaska,
Alaska 686, maintain visual separation, 13509, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, traffic takes off, Alaska 686, traffic sight, maintain visual.
Alaska 1300, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up to wait, report the preceding Boeing 737 in sight, level departure to southwest.
7 for your sight. Line to wait, 34 right, back to 15.
Skywest 3498, contact departure.
Departure, Skywest 3498.
Alaska 1300, maintain visual separation, wind 010 at 10, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Departure, takeoff.
Air Transport 3397 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up the way.
34 right, line up and wait, Air Transport 3397.
That was 3408, Seattle Tower, Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Juliet, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right.
Delta 2720, Seattle Tower at Papa, district. Delta 2720, Seattle Tower at Papa, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Right, that cross 34 center at Papa, hold short 34 right, southwest.
Alaska 686, contact departure.
Departure, Alaska 686.
Alaska 62, Seattle Tower at Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right, you'll occupy the center. Air Transport 3397 Heavy, wind 020 at 10, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Takeoff 34 right, Air Transport 3397 Heavy.
Delta 474, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up the wait, caution wake turbulence for the departing heavy Boeing 767, and traffic to south.
Roger, come on for waiting 34 right, Delta 774.
Have you noticed cargo's always taking off steep? I wonder why that is.
Delta 2720 at Papa, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position. Delta 1500, contact departure.
1500.
Delta 2606 at Mike, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Mike, cross to the right, ground.
Okay, with 3408 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position. And Air 33 Heavy, Air at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7. 34 right, cross runway 7. Alaska 62 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position. And Echo, cross 34 right, ground point 7, Alaska 62. Air Transport 3397 Heavy, contact departure. Over departure, Transport 3397. Delta 474, wind 3609, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. 34 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 7, or 474. Delta 3981, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away. Line up away, runway 34 right. Delta 601, Seattle Tower, Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right on Juliet, Alaska. Southwest 3981, report the preceding Airbus inside on the park to the east. Southwest 3981, maintain visual separation, 13509, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Alaska 571, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away. Line up away, 34 right, Alaska 571. Delta 474, contact departure. Our fire Delta 474. American 727, Seattle Tower, Echo cross runway 34 center, hold short runway 34 right. Echo cross 34 center, hold short 34 right. Okay, with 3981, Seattle Tower, Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Mike, hold short runway 34 right. Tango, back taxi, 34 center, Mike, hold short 34 right. Alaska 571, 13608, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Alaska 16, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up await, report the preceding Boeing 737 inside on the park to the south. Line up await, 34 right, we got the south inside Alaska 16. Southwest 3981, contact departure. Alaska 15, maintain visual separation, wind 3607, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Maintain visual separation, clear for takeoff, 34 right, Alaska 7004, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up await, report the preceding Boeing 737 inside on the park to the east. 4 right, line up await, company inside, Alaska 7004. Alaska 571, contact departure. Hold on. That's the 446, Seattle Tower, Echo across runway 34 center, hold short runway 34 right, you'll occupy the center.
On Echo cross 34 center, hold short of 34 right, last 4 seconds.
Separation with 3509er, runway 34 right, clear to take off.
34 right, clear to take off, left.
That's the 263, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line at the way, before the preceding Boeing 737 in sight, by the park to the northwest.
737, line at the way, 34 right.
Alaska 16, contact departure.
Over departure, Alaska 16.
Alaska 263, maintain visual separation, 13509er, runway 34 right, clear to take off.
Clear to take off, 34 right, visual separation, Alaska 263.
Scandinavian 938 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line at the way.
34 right, line at the way, Scandinavian on that, 938 Heavy.
Alaska 7004, traffic 3 o'clock, 2 miles on final endpoint field, there's a fare in at 1,200.
7 inside Alaska 7004.
Alaska 7004, thank you. Contact departure, we'll see you later.
Alaska 7004,
You're going to get the heavies.
Scandinavian 938 Heavy, wind 340 at 9er, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 34 right, Scandinavian on the 938.
FedEx 3884 Heavy, Seattle Tower, Charlie, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
This is Copenhagen.
Alaska 263, traffic 1 o'clock and a mile and a half into Boeing Field at 500 feet to Barron's.
Barron's inside Alaska 263.
Alaska 263, thank you. Contact departure, we'll see you later.
Departure Alaska 263, bye-bye.
Southwest 1404, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up the way, cause wake turbulence for the departing heavy Airbus. Traffic will cross.
I will wait.
Alaska 790, Seattle Tower, Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right, you'll occupy the center.
At Juliet, we're going to cross 34 center and hold short.
Delta 2905, that's November, cross runway 34 right, straight into box 77 and contact south ramp.
At November, cross runway 34 right, box 77 south ramp, Delta 2905.
Skywest 3891 at Mike, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Mike, cross 34 right, ground point 7, Skywest 391.
Alaska 601 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position. Alaska 790 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7.
At Hotel, we're going to cross 34 right, we'll switch to Alaska 780.
Delta, correction, American 727 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
At Echo, cross 34 right and point 7,
FedEx 3884 Heavy at Charlie, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7. Alaska 446 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
So cross 34 right over down Alaska 446.
Scandinavian 93 Heavy, contact departure.
Over the departure, Scandinavian.
Look, it looks like it's just levitating over there.
Yeah, from Albany, from 953 Heavy, for runway 34 right.
Shamrock 953 Heavy, Seattle Tower, good afternoon, 13609 er, runway 34 right, clear to land, traffic in position.
Land runway 34 right.
Southwest 1404, wind 3609er, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Southwest 4130, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, support the 3 sitting Boeing 737 inside, other parts of the southeast, traffic on a 6-mile funnel.
Company 34 right, line up and wait, Southwest 4130.
Alaska 582, Seattle Tower, Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Kilo, hold short, runway 34 right. Southwest 4130, maintain visual separation, wind 0109er, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Alaska 582, Seattle Tower, Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Kilo, hold short, runway 34 right.
Juliet, back taxi 34 center to Kilo, hold short 34 right, Alaska 582.
Southwest 1404, traffic 3 o'clock, 2 miles on final into Boeing Field at 1,300 to Pilatus.
Looking for the Pilatus, Southwest 1404.
Alaska 1464, Seattle Tower, Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At Echo, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Alaska 1464.
Southwest 1404, contact departure. Southwest 4130, traffic at 1 o'clock and 2 miles on final into Boeing Field at Pilatus at 800 feet.
Searching, Southwest 4130. Inside, Southwest 4130.
Okay. Southwest 4130, contact departure. We'll see you later.
Southwest 4130. Hold on.
Alaska 363, Seattle Tower at Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At Juliet, cross 34, hold short 34 right, Alaska.
Alaska 406, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up for wait, traffic, full cross. Shamrock 953, turn right on Lima, contact ground point 7.
Right on Lima, and we'll hold flight 7, Shamrock 953.
53 heavy.
Shamrock 953, yeah, we were going to get off at Mike. Do you want us to go up to Lima?
Shamrock 953 heavy, negative, Mike is fine, and contact ground point 7.
Mike, yeah, we will, and 1217, thank you.
Thank you. Alaska 582 at Kilo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
At Kilo, cross 34 right, over ground, Alaska 582 today.
Alaska 363 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right over the ground, Alaska 363.
Alaska 1464 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right, Alaska 1464.
Alaska Alaska 406, 13407, gust 16, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Alaska 406.
Alaska 460, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
Line up, wait, 34 right, line up 460.
Southwest 4769, Seattle Tower, November, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
And November, cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right, Southwest 4769.
Alaska 460, wind 3506, gust 16, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 34 right, Alaska 460.
Delta 69 Heavy, Seattle Tower, you ready to go?
Paper.
Delta 69 Heavy, runway 34 right, line up and wait, traffic on a 10 mile final.
34 right, line up and wait, Delta 69 Heavy.
Hello, for the 397 Heavy, on the visual, 34 right. Alaska 406, contact departure.
Alaska 406.
FedEx 397 Heavy, Seattle Tower, 13507, gust 16, runway 34 right, clear to land. FedEx 397 Heavy, pass wake turbulence to departing aircraft to be a heavy Airbus.
Copy that, signal wind.
Wind 3508, gust 16. Delta 69 Heavy, wind 3508, gust 16, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 69 Heavy.
Alaska 312, Seattle Tower, Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Kilo, hold short, runway 34 right.
Back taxi, 49, Kilo, hold short, 34 right, Alaska.
Alaska 460, contact departure.
466.
Ops 3, Seattle Tower at Charlie, cross runway 34 center and proceed on the Cascade Road.
Runway 34 center, proceed on Cascade Road.
Delta 4769 at November, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic on a 4 mile final.
Cross 34 right, November, Southwest 4769.
Delta 69 Heavy, contact departure.
Departure Delta 69 Heavy.
Guy with 3789, Seattle Tower, Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Juliet, cross departure, hold short, 34 right.
Guy with 142 Yankee, Seattle Tower at November, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
November, cross 34 center, hold short, 34 right, got it.
Watch that thing? Oh, no, I have to hear
That's why it's going to look this way. So I figured out that basically this closest one is for the departure, the other two are for arrivals, but they only do arrivals for wide body aircraft.
Delta 281 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away.
Runway 34 right, line up away. Delta 281 Heavy.
FedEx 30, correction, FedEx 397 Heavy, turn right at Echo and contact ground point 7. Echo ground point 7, FedEx 397 Heavy. Delta 9963, Seattle Tower, Papa cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
And Papa cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Delta 9963.
Look, there it is finally.
After that guitar release, I'm gonna end the stream.
Yeah, I'm leaving too. It's
Yeah.
hot.
It's just hot and almost 2 hours live stream. Oh, not bad. Yeah.
SkyWest 4062, Seattle Tower, Echo cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Cross 34 center, Echo, hold short 34 right, got it.
Delta 281 Heavy, 13509er, guest 16, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 34 right, Delta 281 Heavy.
Present 2367, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away, caution wake turbulence for the departing heavy Airbus, traffic will cross.
34 right, line up away, 2367.
Delta 9963 at Papa cross runway 34 right, left turn onto Bravo, contact ground point 7, traffic going into position.
Cross 34 right on Papa, left on Bravo, ground point 7, Delta 9963.
SkyWest 142 Yankee at November, cross runway 34 right, and straight into your gate, contact the south ramp, traffic zip position.
Alright, November, cross 34 right, straight to Bravo 1, contact ground point 7.
Alaska 312 at Kilo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right at Kilo, over to ground Kilo.
SkyWest 3789 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Hotel, cross 34 right, ground station,
SkyWest 4062 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right, Echo, contact ground,
Delta 281 Heavy, contact departure.
Delta 281 Heavy, good to see you.
Alaska 23, Seattle Tower at Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
And Echo, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Alaska 23.
Alaska 513, Seattle Tower at Charlie, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Charlie, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Alaska 23.
Present 2367, 13508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, right, 2367.
SkyWest 3918, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up await.
34 right, line up await.
SkyWest 3918, report the preceding Embraer jet pads of the parts to the east.
Traffic inside, SkyWest 3918.
Maintain visual separation, 13508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Maintain visual separation, clear for takeoff, 34 right, Delta 39.
Delta 345, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait.
34 right, lock and wait, Delta 345.
Present 2367, traffic 3 o'clock, 2.5 miles on final end of Boeing field out of 1,400 as a heavy Boeing 777. And rise 2367 has a traffic sight. Alaska 465, Seattle Tower, Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Kilo, hold short, runway 34 right. Back taxi 34 center to Kilo and hold short of 34 right, Alaska. Present 2367, contact departure. Report to departure, right, 2367, have a good day. Delta 345, 13507, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. 4 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 345. Alaska 1456, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up the wait, report the preceding Airbus in sight, other parts of the southwest. 34 right, Kilo 3918, contact departure. Departure, I'm good, 3918. Alaska 1456, maintain visual separation, wind 3508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Takeoff 34 right, visual separation, Alaska 602, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up the wait, report the preceding Boeing 737 inside, they'll depart to the southeast. Company destroyed, line up the Delta 345, contact departure. Delta 345, have a good one. Alaska 1531, Seattle Tower at Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right. Cross 34 center, hold short at 34 right at Juliet, Alaska 1531. Alaska 332, Seattle Tower at Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right, they're on the center. Alaska 602, maintain visual separation, wind 3609, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Alaska 121 heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up the wait, report the preceding Boeing 737 in sight, they'll depart to the east. Alaska 121 heavy, Seattle Tower.
Yes, sir, that's Alaska 121, 34 right, line up and wait, traffic in sight.
Alaska 121 heavy, thank you. Alaska 1456, contact departure. Departure Alaska 1456. Alaska 121 heavy, maintain visual separation, wind 3608, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
34 right, clear for takeoff, maintain visual separation, Alaska 121 heavy.
Qatari 68 Tango heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, caution wake turbulence for departing heavy Boeing 787, traffic will cross.
Roger, Tower, cleared for line up and wait, runway 34 right, Qatari 68 Tango.
Alaska 602, contact departure.
Departure unit.
Alaska 465 at Kilo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Aircraft 34 right, ground the other side,
Alaska 1531 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right, and Hotel, give ground line 631.
Alaska 23 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Echo, cross 34 right, over the ground on the way, Alaska 23.
Alaska 513 at Charlie, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Charlie, cross 34 right, Alaska 513.
Alaska 332 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Alaska 332, cross 34 right, Echo to the ground.
Yep.
Switch for 121.
Alaska 121 Heavy, affirmative, contact departure. We'll see you later.
Have a great day, Alaska 121.
Alaska 9413, Seattle Tower at Juliet, back taxi, runway 34 center to Kilo, hold short, runway 34 right.
Okay, back taxi down 34 center to Kilo, and hold short 34 right, Alaska 94.
Oh, Heavy's coming. Okay, everybody.
Qatari 68 Tango Heavy, 136 at Niner, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 34 right, Qatari 68 Tango Heavy.
Alpha 117 Heavy, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up and wait, caution wake turbulence for the departing Heavy Airbus.
Runway 34 right, line up on the way, 2411 to the Heavy.
Delta 481 Seattle Tower at Pop across runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
On Pop across 34 center, hold short 34 right, Delta 41.
Alaska 293 Seattle Tower at Juliet, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At Juliet, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Alaska 293.
Center aircraft data information, Bravo is now current. On the pond 117 Heavy, 13608, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
74 right, ground for takeoff, 2411 for the Heavy.
Delta 2817, Seattle Tower at Echo, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
At Echo, cross 34 center, hold short 34 right, Delta 2817.
Skywest 4174, Seattle Tower at November, cross runway 34 center, hold short, runway 34 right.
Cross 34 center on November, hold short 34 right, Skywest 4174.
Qatari 68 Tango Heavy, contact departure.
Contact departure, Qatari 68 Tango Heavy, good day.
Delta 2169, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away, caution wake turbulence for the departing Heavy, Boeing 787, traffic will cross.
Doing that for Delta 20 door around the Embraer, we're number 2 here, 34 right, for Delta 2169.
Delta 2169, hold short, runway 34 right.
Delta 2169, hold short 34 right.
Good number 1.
Skywest 3688.
Skywest 3688, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, line up away, caution wake turbulence for the departing Heavy, Boeing 787, traffic will cross.
34 right, line up away, Skywest 3688.
Delta 481, ad pop across runway 34 right, left turn onto Bravo to spot 88 and contact southbound traffic going into position.
Okay, we'll cross 34 right on Papa and left on Bravo into spot 88 ramp, Delta 41.
Alaska 9413 at Kilo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
Cross 34 right, call the ground, Alaska.
Alaska 293 at Hotel, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point 7, traffic in position.
At Hotel, cross 34 right, contact ground, Alaska 293.
Delta 2817 at Echo, cross runway 34 right, contact ground point.